Why does China not have homeless people? Yes, Western media, China does not have homeless people.
Once again, there is another YouTube vlogger saying there are no homeless people in China. Here she is at 2 o'clock in Chengdu, wandering around trying to find homeless people. And she actually quotes this quite a few times. There are no homeless people in China with a 1.4 billion population. But on the other hand, there are YouTube vloggers who say there are homeless people.
I have lived in Beijing for over 7 years now, and during that time I have seen about maybe 10, 12 homeless people.
Obviously, it's not the biggest amount in the world, and a lot of the time people aren't going to go and search for homeless people. One guy even quoted this. Let me read this, the last couple of sentences. I'm always intrigued when she points out how few vagrants and beggars there are in Chinese big cities. And that is by a guy who hates Western media called Reports from China. So he is saying there are homeless people in China.
Why are there no homeless people here in China?
You can actually find quite a few articles and YouTube vlogs related to this. And basically they do the same thing. They go to an area of a city like Chengdu or Beijing or Shanghai, whatever, with their camera there and look for homeless people. But I can guess they're just not looking at the right place. Now, I'm not slandering this girl, and she's making money on YouTube, fantastic. Even though a VPN is illegal in China, obviously, that she's using, and she's using a banned site like YouTube. So it's actually quite funny. Now, there is a really cool guy who has lived in China for over 14 years. He's called Serpent ZA. He does come from South Africa, the same as this girl. Now he's living in the safety of the United States of America. And when he was in China, he was the first YouTube vlogger in China, actually did find some homeless people like this. What does happen to the homeless people in China? Well, we've seen videos before, I don't have them here at the moment, where the police would walk past and ask them just to move on and just ignore it. In other words, sweep it under the carpet. Another thing is that they say they put them on a train, the cheapest train possible, and send them back to or into the countryside. So they're out of sight, out of mind. Let's continue what wonderful Lizzie in Chengdu in Sichuan is saying now about the unemployment rate.
I do know that the unemployment rate between, for example, the US and China is not that big of a difference.
You can start to disbelieve this girl constantly because she obviously hasn't done much research over this. Basic info, US unemployment rate is 3.9% compared to 3.8 last month. There. And this is lower than the long-term average of 5.71%. Now, let's go over to China. Now, the Chinese economy is not doing very well and the unemployment rate is really high at the moment. But China amounted to 5.5% and 5.3% in 2023. Hey, what was China again in 2023? Oh, 3.9. That's a huge difference, Lizzie.
Because there's no homeless people here in China.
You seem to get very frustrated saying there's no homeless people here in China. Shall we have a look at this picture? Just to show you that this is quite a popular topic with the vloggers in China. This guy, I think he lives in Beijing. I think he's working there. Not too sure, don't really follow him. But I just wanted to show you that there's like more than one person saying this and saying he's out looking for homeless people in China. I can just go to Google and I can type in homeless people in China. And guess what? I get a picture like this.
I'm out here looking for homeless people today because I always get comments. I'm gonna go see if I can find any homeless people here in China. I don't think I will be able to.
I don't think I will be able to. Well, you're not searching hard enough. Again, you're just in the main area, and if I went into Beijing or Shanghai or Chengdu, if I searched deep enough, I would find the same as in London, the same as in New York, and the same as some other cities around the world. Every country has homeless people, and I'm sorry for all these fakers there who blame Western media who have never been to China. Now, I have been to China, and I've been many times. I used to live in China. I used to do contracts in China, etc., a long time ago. And I did see plenty of beggars, poor people, homeless people. And it's the same in a lot of Southeast Asia. It's sort of really difficult to walk by. But these people are just denying the fact. You could say they are CCP shills, and it's just really annoying that they go out there with their disinformation. I'm going to leave it there for today before I get a little bit more frustrated with it. I'm really hungry and it's time for lunch. God bless to all, and I will wish you a happy day. And if you do want to help people, the homeless people, I'm sure there's some organizations in your local community, but not, you could say, with the actual giving the money directly to this homeless person, giving it to the organizations local, like church foundations, for example, so these homeless people can have at least a bed for tonight, especially now, winter time, where in a lot of places it's freezing cold and they need shelter because of unfortunate situations. But there's no homeless people in China. From 1.4 billion people, absolute zero. There's no homeless people in China, none at all.